finished. Like, yeah, because you might
Everything
want like
is,
to
it's
move
possible
and then
to
go
play
knight
first
a5.
knight f2, rook d3,
But then
and
e4 is
but
hanging. Yeah, no, I feel like he's preparing for e5 anyway.
yeah.
So it's better to keep this one on c4. In some positions, you know, c4 was just giving away the pawn for black. As playing c4 and not winning the pawn back might be a good idea.
Well, they are thinking maybe we can jump to the board 5, where Wang Hao has a good chances to catch the leader.
Wang Hao against Lia Quangliam.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see. Grischuk has played queen to g6, attacking e4 pawn, and no, Vishy doesn't go for e5.
He's preparing for that.
Yeah, well, repeat it. Well, just quickly, if he, no, Vishy has a lot of time, yes, so he will.
And
now
I can
he will
see
be thinking
for Grischuk is 43 seconds on the clock.
43 seconds.
Very, very hard position.
I would actually think that this is the moment where you try to break in the center. I mean, when your opponent has not enough time.
You know, if you want, you can stay focused on this and then you can jump the other game.
Wang Hao, yeah, probably is better, right? But I'm not sure if he's winning, as you said. Okay. He's definitely better. His pieces are much more active. But yeah, but since Grischuk is, I mean, he's playing on stage, he's very short on time, so I'm really, really curious to follow this one.
G4.
Yeah, G4, a typical time trouble move, what can I say?
That can be weakness, another weakness on the board.
Yeah, I mean, knight h4 is an option, knight d2 is our idea.
h3 maybe later.
Yeah, but same with knight h4 and h3, because, I mean, knight is not good at the edge of the board, but this knight is heading to f5, so let's not forget. Knight goes to h4, yes. And yeah, and once again, a general advice. So be careful with moves like g4. Pawns are not moving backwards, right?
Yeah.
Queen g5. Queen g5.
Maybe he has something in his mind. Some tricks.
f4. G takes, queen takes. Yeah, I'd say it's logical. As long as the bishop is locked on a7, you want to open the game at the other side of the board. And I don't know if you've seen
how many seconds?
This look.
20, less than 20 seconds for Grischuk.
I don't know if you've seen this look. I mean, it was look of desperation when Grischuk looked at his clock, and I mean, it was really
less than 10 seconds on the clock. He has to make a move now.
He has to make a move. No, I mean, he's very experienced in playing on very limited time, but you know, it's still.
Even classical games, he goes to 1 minute and then he starts to play.
There's been a lot of examples when, even in classical games, yes, he does that very often. Let's see. Now, by the way, one thing to do for Anand could be just to take and play a check followed by knight f5. I mean, maybe this is not the maximum. Let's say maybe this is not the maximum, but it still looks very, very attractive. As long as this bishop stays on a7. But I don't know if you've seen Vishy also is very, very nervous. I mean, the way he moved this queen to e2, queen back to g5. So rook f1. Perhaps, because you want this knight to be on f5 sooner or later. Rook f1 played, yes. Rook f1. Terrible scenario for check now. Knight goes to f5 and
knight f5.
King g8, I guess, right?
Oh wait, king g8 was already on the board.
King g8, knight f5. Yeah, exactly. And still seconds for Alexander Grischuk. Well, if Vishy wins, he equals in points with Carson.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because then it's very dangerous for Magnus. Vishy has won the direct encounter. He was one of those two players who managed to win against Magnus Carlsen.
Wait a
Knight
moment.
f5. And the idea for Grischuk was to sacrifice exchange on e4. that turns out to be an idea. So rook e4, and when rook takes e4, he wants to take on f5 with the bishop, which should be lost, to be honest, but still with bishop on a7
He made his last move on 2 seconds.
On 2 seconds only, yeah. Knight takes h6.
Queen takes h6 and
Wish he takes a practical decision. He takes on h6, takes
he
on
takes
e4.
Another pawn.
Yeah, he doesn't want. No, I mean he doesn't want to have an extra exchange. He simply wants this bishop to be completely out of the game, and he wants a kingside
majority
attack.
On the king side.
Rook f4, rook g4 is a serious threat, and this knight, of course, gets much faster to a king side. King f8. Well, that's a good defensive resource. Grischuk is trying to, I mean, at least he's hoping to play rook e8.
What about rook e1?
Rook e1 is a good move.
Queen f6.
Okay, queen f6 or g5, maybe f6. Then maybe this is the moment you play. No, so still you don't want c4 to happen. You maybe lift the rook. But one day this knight a5, knight c6 will happen. Queen e4 played by... Oh no, wait. Queen.
Yeah, this is...
I mean rook e1.
We have this position.
Rook e1 and queen f6. Yes. Queen f6, rook to e2, just to make sure that the king's position is safe. And now, yeah, knight a5, knight to c6, and then maybe black's, yeah, well, bishop b6. So he stops. Grischuk has played bishop b6. He stops knight a5 at least. h4 from Viswanathan. King back to g7. So what's now? Rook f2. Well, king g7 perhaps was too much. Rook f2. Rook to f5, threatening rook g5. King goes to f8. If only this knight could be brought somehow, then white would be immediately winning. If only this knight could have been, you know, like to put it on. Well, it still feels like terribly bad. h5. Yeah, the feeling is like Vishy feels he has very good chance.
King f3 maybe?
King f3, possible h5 he plays, move with a tempo queen, returns to h7, and then he can start moving the g-pawn as well. I know, this is a threat, rook e8 is a threat. Right, g4 played, yeah. Rook e8 and queen f3. Still, the king is safe, he attacks the f7 pawn and he wants to play
Follows
g5.
By
yeah?
g5, g6.
Yeah, but now with e-file being open, this knight is also unlikely to come closer, right? So now, let's say we can split the board in half. On the king side, white is the pawn up, and he's definitely playing for win. And the queen side, more or less, neither side can touch, right? Black can never play c6. If white leaves with the knight, then he has to watch out for c4.
Bishop goes to
king g8, and then king goes to h3. Yeah, which is once again a good thing to do. Rook to e1. Queen goes to f4. What's queen f4? Some h6 idea? Apparently he wants h6. And yeah, and Grischuk played few moves quickly, but
there is
he's
no
still...
h6, there is rook h1.
Ah, yeah, h6 is not a move. So then I don't know what he wants. Why queen wants to be on f4, g5. Yeah, it's amazing. He was on seconds now. It feels that he's thinking for eternity. King to f8. Yeah, avoiding queen g5 check apparently. And queen g5 is played nevertheless. Check from... No, I mean, it's just too much. Just too much. Oh, well, queen g7 actually will trade the queens. Looks like Wish he happy with this. Wish he's happy with this as well. Which I'm not sure. No, Queen H8. Queen H8 trying to activate the queen. Rook to F3. Oops. Rook to F3. Queen G7. Okay. Well, now white kind of has to trade queens. Wish he takes. King takes there and G5. Yeah. Now the fact is that white in some positions can safely play knight e3. Rook d1, and maybe that's the moment. Maybe that's the moment where white's going to play knight d3. Otherwise, I mean, that's perhaps the pawn you don't want to lose, right? Knight e3, then a check from h1 happens. King to g4, obviously. And c4. So now knight f5 check and b takes is an extra pawn for Viswanathan.
It is just happened. Knight f5. King goes to
f8. King to f8, bc4.
And still there's 5 minutes difference between them.
Knight h6 is a devastating threat. That's what I realized. Check on g1. Now...
King f...
No, he played rook g3. He has actually played rook g3, so he's, yeah, being a pawn up, having this knight on f5. Of course, he does not mind going to this kind of endgame. And now what? g6? g6, just move your pawn. Fishy, just move your pawn. Yes, yeah, g6, yes. g7, knight h... I mean, after rook c4 check, king goes to h3, the pawn cannot be stopped. 36 seconds for Grischuk, but once again, one of those positions where timing is not an issue, and it looks like Vishy, well, I'm amazed with his ability, you know, to come back all the time, once again and again and again. And when, I mean, a lot of people declared, like, okay, Vishy is too old, you know, Vishy is too old, Vishy will never play the same chess he used to, and here he is back, and he will be one of the leaders. He'll be one of the leaders going to the last round. Check, king h5. Absolutely nothing can be done against
it's
g7.
Only two moves.
Bishop d4 you can play, and then rook g4 wins the piece. Yeah, well actually king h5 is a precise move. I just realized that king h5 is a precise move. Bishop d4 and rook g4. And that will be it. I think that will be it.
Oh, this phase. We've seen that already.
Yeah,
handshake. So Anand joins Carlsen.
Yeah, impressive victory from Viswanathan. He equals in point.